everyone, my name is God of Speed 2024 and welcome to a how-to video. Oh, don't mind that. Welcome to another how-to video where today I will be showing you guys how to link clothing. I'll be showing you guys how to link clothing onto your VRChat model. And the reason being is because a lot of people are making really unique models, and I have a feeling that not many people know a certain method of linking linking a certain clothing to the armature of their VRChat model. So for this video, I'll be doing it on my OC Sonic character that I made that I use in VRChat. I'm also going to be re-implying the toggles that I have associated with this avatar because initially I utilized 3 toggles to utilize 2 forms and 1 particle effect. But for now, I'm just going to be showing you the basics of showing how to allow for clothing to move fluently and smoothly with your VRChat model. So the first thing you're going to need to do is open up Blender and find whatever the file is for your model that you want to utilize clothing for. For this, I will be utilizing my OC Sonic character, as I said before. And the next thing you want to do is, sorry, this does this every time. The next thing you want to do is go to Sketchfab, and you just want, and I don't know why I did that. Hold on. Excuse me. I just had breakfast. This is the earliest I've ever recorded for a video. Plus, I still have my coffee right here, so. Anyway, so when you get onto Sketchfab, you have to press Downloadables, the Downloadables icon right here under Others, and then you're going to be looking up any particular clothing you want to utilize. Now, this is actually useful because why is my camera? My camera's focusing on something. I don't know what. Hello? I don't know why my camera was focusing on something. It might be the lighting. Turn that off. Yeah, well, oh well. I'll figure it out in post-processing. But anyway, once you go into Sketchfab, you're going to look up whatever clothing you want. For me, I'm going to utilize looking for a jacket. And you're just going to look for the one that suits your character the most. For me, since I have a Sonic character, I'm going to try and utilize one that would fit his size. If not, then I'll just find one that is easy to utilize and just shrink it down to the right size. Let's try this one, the leather jacket. And when you go into Sketchfab, make sure you download either it as an OBJ file or an FBX file, or a DAE file, because either way, because those are the ones that Blender supports. And if it's not an OBJ, FBX, or DAE file, then that's when it's going to run into problems. So for this, it's a DAE file, which is the original format. So we're going to click download, and it's going to download up here. And if you guys don't know, I actually do have 2 monitors now. So like my monitor in front of me is for my normal stuff. Recordings are here, and I actually have my new computer desk for Christmas. So yeah. After you do that, you're going to click on the file by hovering over the file itself, pressing this little file button. You're going to right click, go to extract all, and then you're going to go into wherever you want it to be extracted from. for me, it's gonna be just my C drive because it's my normal default for that. You can go to models. Normally, when it comes, again with my freaking camera, I don't know what's up with it. This is like the second time my camera has like focused on the wrong thing. I don't know. I'm just gonna turn my lights back on. I don't know what it is. But anyway, normally files like this, 3D model files, don't really have a secondary file inside of it. So when you go into it and extract it, you have to extract. I can literally see the quality of my camera just going down. You know, I'm just gonna hide my camera. I'm just gonna hide it for now. For now, I'm just gonna leave my camera hidden. Cause I'm not gonna deal with it being on and then just screwing around. So once you extract your file, you're gonna go to source, and if it has a secondary file that is a zip file, you're gonna right click it, or you're gonna click and then right click it, click extract all, and do the same method. Just extract every single file that is a zip file. Then you're gonna go and find the one that says DAE file, and once you reach that, you're good to go. And sometimes, I don't know if it's true, but sometimes the textures have a zip file, but not always. But this one does not. There are going to be numerous files that you can utilize for like the normal appearance or whatever. For this, I'm going to be utilizing the Lambert 1 AO, which I'll be utilizing in Unity. So once you have that, minimize that too. You can go to File, Import, Default DAE file, and as you see, it already comes up. You're gonna click it, go on Source, Model, Model again, and then click Model.DAE. Now, normally, depending on what version of the file you choose or that you download from Sketchfab or whatever 3D modeling software you use, it will determine what the file is. So if it's an FBX, you would have to go to File, Import, FBX, click on the file, and then navigate to the main model file itself, and then just press Import, and it will show. Now, since my model is taller than normal, it's not going to show, but it is here. It's small. It's very small. I did not expect for it to be this small. So, first things first, there we go. So first things first, I'm going to remove some stuff. I'm going to remove this interior clothing, being the shirt. I'm going to remove the belt. Remove that. And I'm going to remove that. I'm also going to remove the pockets and the back flap thingy. And I'm going to remove the belt buckle. And there we go. And oh, whoa, too close. And don't mind the bird in the background. That's my mom's bird. But there is the jacket. Now to make it fit, all I gotta do is just go to this little. All you have to do is go to the little square right here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. You're gonna click it. And then go to Scale, X, Y, and Z. This is how big it is going to be from the X-axis, Y-axis, and Z-axis. And you're going to adjust it to your desirable size. Now, this works with basic models as well. Like if you make it too small, or if it's made small, you can just adjust it to where it's the right size. But for this, I'm just going to remove these sleeves. And the way we're going to do that is by clicking on the model. I don't know why it shows that for rotating. You're going to click on the model. You can go to this little square section up here, click it, go to edit mode. And that brings that model into its editing format where you can add, edit, and remove whatever you want. So for this, we're just going to remove the sleeves. So from here, no, from down here, why is it doing that? I don't know why it did that. I don't know why I had the rotation lock thing on, which is one of the few things you can utilize. So once you select the upper portion of the jacket, you're going to click. Well, here's the thing. When you want to highlight more than just one circle, you're going to press Shift and then click and drag. Now you can just click and drag, but it only does it for a short amount of time until you click and drag again. Like right now I pressed Shift and click and drag, and you see that just removed the top portion and bottom portion. So for Shift, click, drag, and it keeps that portion and the portion you recently highlighted. So that's one of many tips you can use, or one of many tips you can utilize that's utilizable for this. So after you do that, you're gonna press right click and you press delete vertices, and there you go. It removes the first layer. Now we're gonna be doing this to the 2 layers of the jacket itself, and then of course the sorry, I think I just looked at my coffee. Give me a second. Alright, I had to fix my camera settings. But anyway, once you pretty much shift and highlight over the selected vertices, you're just going to continuously remove them until you have what you want. Now, since I want this to be like a sleeveless jacket, we're just going to remove every vertice of each sleeve. And is it okay to double check around the base of the jacket? Because sometimes it won't fully remove every vertice. And I could have done this in post-processing or before I recorded, but I wanted to just show you all. You know, for the noobs, for the newbies who don't know how to edit out certain stuff in Blender. And click, drag, select. Now the reason why I'm selecting to remove the sleeves of this jacket in Blender is because if you look closely, the position of the arms or the sleeves of the jacket don't match the position of my model's arms. So if I remove the sleeves, it'll automatically just sync directly within my model's position instead of me having to connect it to the armature and then weight paint it to where the and then weight paint it to where the arms are meeting the sleeves and then adjusting them to the size. It's a bit easier, to say the least. And there you go. Sleeveless jacket. Easy peasy. So now we're going to go back to object mode, and then we're just going to go to the Y, go to that, and we're going to align it with our character. And the best way to do this is to just, well, do what I'm doing. That's not what I want. Going to, oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's set this to 15. And yeah, that actually looks pretty good. So there. Now, when it comes to whenever it comes to placing clothing onto your models, make sure they're aligned perfectly to where the sides of your model aren't showing, unless they're the back portions. Like for instance, the back quills of your model. Like for this, I have 2 sets of back quills, the tail and the back fur. So if you're going to be showing like the jacket, or if you're gonna have a jacket on, it's fine to have them like poke out so that they are like pushing it. So we're like is as if it's an effect of like the clothing having holes so that it shows the back quills. The back hair, I don't know how to change that out to where it's like smoother, but I'm just gonna keep it that the way it is. And then reducing the height of the jacket. Set this to 5. Oh, nope. Nope. Let's set this to 7. Nope. 8. So it's always good to always make sure that your model clothing is at the size you want it to be, because it's really, really finicky. And it's always good to make sure that nothing's out of place. So I'm gonna, oh, let me do that. Bring this up a bit. And the reason why I'm gonna show also the process of weight painting is so that you guys get an extra idea of how to do it. So we're gonna show the armature by clicking on the armature if it's exposed anywhere, and then going to the square that I showed before when we were scaling the jacket model, and we're going to be going down to viewpoint display and show in front, and this will show the armature in front. Next we're going to have that selected, and then shift click, and then we're going to click back onto the armature so that that's the base of what's going to be selected. I'm going to right click, go to parent to automatic weight. And now we're going to click back onto the armature, go to pose, and we're going to see if this works. Okay. So there's a problem right now, and so we're going to go back to objects, click that, click back on that, parent, automatic weight. So we're not gonna, so now it takes a bit of time to wait to sync it directly to the armature. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna press this and go to weight paint. Now this will allow for us to automatically connect it to the armature that it's above. So now we're going to look for these spines, which are spine 1. And the best way to do this is to go into the armature and bend it at a certain position and then weight paint it so it automatically flexes with the character itself. So we're going to be doing that later on. But we're going to reduce the radius a bit. And then we're going to, yeah, I was partially correct about this little spot. So spine 1 is up here. Yeah, sometimes it can be really finicky when it comes to stuff like this. So it's always best to do this bit by bit. So it's always good to just make sure that you're doing it bit by bit and not ruining everything like I did right there. But there is a way of fixing it by going to the Tools menu, going to Blend, and Subtract. And then you can just, boom, fix, and fixed. And go back to Mix. that upper portion's done. Let's go to the midpoint, which is a massive point right here. So we're gonna go here. Now the reason why I'm not weight painting the shoulders is because the last time I applied clothing to my other version of this model is because when I used it on my older model, it actually for some reason stretched out the shoulder portions a bit to where it folds it where the arms are supposed to be. Now I don't know if that was just me or if that was a mistake that I pulled, but I'm not making that mistake twice, or I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. Now, it's always good that whenever you do weight painting, to make sure you get it at every single angle. Because if you do it at the wrong angle, or if you don't do it at the wrong side, it's not going to weight paint that portion. So, it's always good to make sure every portion of this is good. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, well, why not just link it directly to the model and the armature? And the reason being is because if you do that, you have to re-weight paint the entire armature of your model. To where if you are trying to refix the neck portion, like with my model, where since there's no neck connected to the head, if you're adjusting it to where, or if you, let me rephrase this. If you're weight painting everything, or if you're parenting the armature to the clothing and the model, it will attach everything, but the only downside is that it will set it to a restart position to where you have to re-weight paint everything from the head to the hands to the body, depending on what model you're utilizing. So for me, since this is a Sonic character and it has no neck, I'll have to re-weight paint the entire head to be separate from the body so that when I move my head up in VRChat, it doesn't stretch either the bottom portion of the head or the upper portion of the body. That's why I have a small portion. I don't know if you can see it because of the armature in the way, but this is a small portion of it that's connected to the body so that when it is parented, there's no stretching too much. But it's only just so that the body is still connected to the head so that it shows a bit of more of a neck. But yeah. So it's always also good that whenever you do weight painting to be on the interior of whatever your model is, just so that you can get a better position. Like for me, I have some spots that are too small to do from a certain position, so I'm going to be doing it from here. And yes, as you just saw, I do sometimes clip inside the chest, or I do go into the viewpoint of my character's chest, but it's not much of a problem. And the key thing with weight painting is that when you weight paint directly, you have to make sure you get every single point. I mean, yes, there are certain things that will occur, like you will move your character a certain way, and it will position it to where it's gonna stretch a certain portion, which is why I mainly just weight paint the entire thing so that it moves fluently with a certain bone. And then when I do it again, I do it the same way so that it all looks secured onto a certain bone. So, yeah. And that is one of two methods you can utilize weight painting, but it gets too complicated over time because you have to constantly weight paint the exact same thing, and you do the interior and then find the small spots. But if you want to do it bit by bit to where it's fluent in some aspects, then you can do that too. But yeah, for the lower portion, I guess I could just weight paint it to the lower body so that it can just bend instead of it being at the third bone. But if you want to do it at the third bone, you just have to go into spine 3. Like I said before, I don't know if I said this, but there, this avatar that I have has 3 sets of spines, being the upper spine, which is the small portion here, the middle spine, which is right here, which is where the chest is at, and then the lower spine, which is near like the lower back, and then of course the hips, which are down below. And the reason why I utilize 3 bones is because it's so that whenever I go into Unity, it doesn't just do a small quantity of the spine. It's so that I have more mobility. And fun fact, when I first made this avatar, I didn't know how to do armatures. I had to look up a whole bunch of videos on doing armatures and weight painting and stuff like that. Which, if you guys actually want me to show you how to make an armature, it is relatively easy to do, but it takes a lot of practice. But all in all, yeah. All in all, it's not that hard to do. It's just you having to name the bones, putting them in the position, making sure they move fluently. I said fluently a lot in this video. Well, in this portion of the video, at least. I never usually say fluently so much. And I have like 3 mugs of coffee. But I don't know why I'm talking about this now. But anyway, now that you have the model armature set, let's test to see if this works. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it won't work. But as you can see, it works perfectly. Now, I don't know what this outlining of the shoulders are or is, but I have a feeling it's something on the base of the model that I have to do. Which I'm gonna have to. I'll just weight paint the top portion of it. Spine 1. I think that's just an outlining of the general like sleeve, but I don't know. I think that's just like the main portion that I missed by mistake. I mean, like I said before, weight painting is not always the fun actually, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I don't really say stuff. I just do. But yeah, I'm just gonna re-weight paint just the front portion so it matches up a bit. So yeah. So now that that is done, we're going to go back, and that's pretty much that on weight painting. And the reason why it's really finicky is because of the certain parts you want to weight paint to certain bones, and finding out what bone you want to attach it to. So yeah, it's not really that hard to do. But yeah, that's how you weight paint and attach clothing. Now I'm going to do the same thing with another bit of clothing, which is a scarf. So, Sketchfab, downloadable, Sonic Boom, scarf. Okay, just going to look up scarf. I don't know why I looked up Sonic Boom. So we're just gonna look for. Oh, I know that. I'll have to pay for that one. So we're just gonna be looking for a particular shaping of a scarf, and this is the same thing that is the same method as the clothing that I showed before, but instead of doing it with like a whole like spines, we're just going to be doing it with one spine, being the spine 1. So let's just find one. Nope, that one I have to pay for. Do I have it set? Yeah, I have it set to downloadable. Alright, so Sketchfab is sometimes really weird. So scarf. It's always good to look up like certain models whenever it comes to stuff like this, because you know it helps out with finding out what design you want. Like for me, I want to try and utilize one like a simple like bandana-ish scarf. Which in hindsight, why can't I just look up bandana? There we are. So 3 models for bandana scarves. So now let's just look for the right one that I want to use. And it's not too hard to find. The only problem is just finding the one that I want to use. And sometimes certain scarves or bandanas, well, not bandanas or scarves, but like in general, like some 3D models are not easy to find, because sometimes you would have to look for a specific one. I don't know why this control thingy comes up from time to time. I don't know why. An idea. I'm just gonna look up Sonic Boom. Downloadable. And then we're just gonna snag the scarf off of this model. Yep. And pretty much this is what certain people do in VRChat that I've seen. Like they just find certain models that they want to use, and they just remove what they don't want, and they just keep the ones that they want to have. So we're just gonna download the FBX, which, as I said in the beginning of this video, it depends on what model file you utilize. So extract all, extract. Okay. And this is another thing. If you have a certain model that has like a certain assortment of like textures, it's good to always find one that is specific to the model itself, so that if you want it to look accurate to that of the original appearance, it's easy to find. Move this out the way. Let's delete that armature. Let's go to body. Now let's go like this. And all we're gonna do is just click that, go to edit mode, and then just remove the rest of this. And yes, sadly, I am removing every quantity of this Sonic model. And the reason being is because I don't need all of it. I just need the scarf. Which there is a way of doing it to where you just shade or select the bandana itself around the neck, but and then just separate it from here. Like you highlight it, press separate, and then press select, and it'll separate it. But the only problem with that is that if you do it, sometimes the model itself won't have all the pieces, so you will have to delete the parts that you don't want, or you'll have to rejoin the parts that you do want, so that it could be one solid piece. Which of course I don't want to do, because the last time I did it, it was a hassle for me to do it piece by piece. and sometimes I would find the wrong pieces, and yeah, let's actually increase the size of this thing so that it's easier to utilize or handle. So actually, there's an easier way of doing this. So let's zoom in, zoom. Actually, let's go inside the model. And since it's like this, now I could just make it a giant avatar or a model piece, but the only problem with that is that I'll have to eventually resize it. So I don't want to do that. Okay. Let's do this. And some parts of the scarf. Oh wait, no, that's not the scarf. That's some portions of the body. So yeah, whenever it comes to modeling like this, it's always good to find what pieces you want to have and what pieces you don't want to have. Like, there are certain people who want to have like every bit of detail on their characters, but when it comes to certain things, you can't have all of them because certain models have, or when you make avatars, there's a limit to how much you could put on there. But yet, there's like highly detailed models that like have so many attachments, and you can't just like have it be linked to, or you can't have it be connected to that particular model that you're making. Okay. Now you may be wondering what I'm weight painting off. It's this little strand. You can't really see it because of my webcam, but let me actually move out the way. I'm removing this little strand of the material or the object so that it's not in the way. And the reason why I'm not doing it with this is because I have a feeling it's part of the scarf. But if not, then I'll just go back in and remove it. Because for now, underneath it looks really nice. And when it gets onto my model, or when it gets onto my my avatar, it's not really gonna change much. I mean, it's gonna add a bit more of a design, like a scavenger type design to it. But yeah, and what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when you edit, this is a little tip. When you edit out certain portions, make sure you always shift and click, or click and drag, because it increases the amount of stuff you want to remove. And if you just click on certain portions of the model that you're editing out, you will only do a small bit at a time, which is really consuming. So this speeds up the process a bit. But yeah. So there's all the parts that I am removing. So now right click, delete. And there we go. There's a scarf. So now back to object mode. We're going to set this to the size of 10. Sorry, I have to adjust my mouse pad. 10. And then 10. Yeah, it's going to be... Whoa. I don't know what happened. My thing just... This happens every time whenever my things like this. Back over. There we go. Anyway, let's do 20, 20, 20. not bad of a size, but I want it to be a little bit bigger. So let's do 50. 50. 50. Let's take a look at how well it would fit. Yeah, that'd be it's a little too big. Let's narrow it down to 30. Look at it from the side view. And the thing is, I don't want it to be like too far forward or too far backwards, because if I do that, then it's going to be too entitled to the main portion of the body. And if I do it to my webcam again, well, I mean, do that. And I have a little shield for my webcam. I don't know what's up with my webcam today, but it's like glitching out. But anyway, so now that I have the scarf and the jacket, we're going to be connecting the armature. So parents, weights. So now we go to the main model. We're going to weight paint. Go to vertices. We're going to go to spine 1. And it's always good to connect things to the main spine itself, because that is where it's going to mainly move. So I'm just going to weight paint the entire thing so that all of it moves with the main spine. I would connect it to the neck, but the problem is that since the neck is so up close to the head, it would possibly be left. It would possibly be moving with the neck from time to time. So I want to prevent that. So I'm just going to connect it all to spine 1. Spine 2. Yeah, let's not connect that to spine 2. So let's subtract all of that. And remember what I said about weight painting, to make sure every vertex of each part, the neck, I'm not having this object be connected to the neck. Head, and boom. And you may not be seeing it, but I am doing behind the head, or behind where the scarf's at, because like I said before, when you weight paint, make sure to get every single angle of it. I'm already recording for 15 minutes. So yeah. Yeah, it's always good to make sure you don't have anything weight painted to the base or any portion of the head, especially when it comes to making a Sonic OC character, because when you do it, it's really finicky. It really is finicky when you make a model like this, because the moment you screw up on something, then that's when it becomes a challenge to set it properly to put it in its proper place. Like you see on certain portions, it's linking directly to the actual body portions, which is what we don't want. So now let's do left shoulder. And let's make sure that every portion is not attached. left, remove all that. And then so now let's go to object mode, click on the armature, pose. Let's make sure the armature's in front. Okay. As you can see, there's a little bit of stretching, but not too bad. Let's go to spine. What is that? Spine 1? Yep. Spine 1. Yeah. That's what I want it to do, but I don't want it to look garbage in any way. I would just connect everything to spine 2 because it's the mid portion of the body, but then if I look up, it won't look good because the main portion that's going to be looking up is just the head. If I had my upper body moving up, then that'll be a different situation. So now that everything works properly, make sure the arms are not connected. So that's good. Okay. So everything works the way we want it to. That's good. So that is pretty much how to weight paint clothing onto your avatars. So I hope you all enjoyed this little video. I will be uploading this off camera so that I can see how it looks from my perspective. If it looks good, I'll keep it. I am going to have to reapply the other forms, being the super and dark form, as well as the particle effects that I had before. So if you guys actually want to see that in the next video of how to set up toggles, be sure to tell me in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.